Welcome, guys, to part 2 of episode 28 of Breaking Hertz. So, small recap if you had missed the last episode, which you can just go and check out iko kwa mtandao. Utaona tuko na playlist. So, we're recording on the same day, by the way, so msishtuke. We just checked out our projects that we were listening in the last week. Analo had some very strong words in regards to Jakalo. Yes. I had some strong words in regards to gigs, and Sookie had strong words in general. We also talked about white rappers and the length of projects.
Yeah.
So that was it, and let's just continue. Analo, how is it like being a graduate lawyer, balancing school and being a commercial sax worker?
Yeah.
And with all the like great events. But have you guys watched her sets on YouTube? Her shows? They are
Dude,
amazing.
you need to watch her live.
She's an
God.
live show. No masana.
Santi.
How do you balance the two? And
That's actually how we met, or how you met me rather, because I met you on the other podcast when I was listening during quarantine.
Oh.
It's like, this man has strong opinions.
Yeah.
Hey.
Euthanasia, brother. Mercy killing. I have strong opinions.
Yeah.
They are mine.
Bet.
Ndio.
Bet. Come fight me. I mean.
I'm in my house. Come beat me. So yeah, how do you balance the two? Alafu,
Yes.
follow-up question.
Yes.
Are you going to do the advocate like training program?
Okay. So,
Side-eye.
criminally.
Bombastic.
Have you asked Sookie that question?
Eh.
Because that question we can also ask Greg. But anyway, yeah, I guess balancing, I graduated recently in like December 2022. So I haven't been like in the field for a long time. So I also have not been pursuing a career in law as of now, mostly because I think I was really balancing in school between my music and my degree, and so I wanted to give myself a chance to try and do this music thing and see how it goes. Music, hii industry yetu kuna mambo mingi. I'm still at the point in my career where I genuinely wouldn't advise someone to be a musician. Let me explain. I feel like everyone who is doing music, especially my peers and the guys who are trying to come up with and everything, we're doing it purely out of passion and only because we love it. But it is fucking hard. Hakuna pesa, hakuna order in the industry. And it's just not a safe career to have. But it's good. Live performance is like a whole conversation. So I'd say live performance from the point of the artist, that's my favorite form of art to create and make, because it's very authentic, it's very raw, and the point of logistics and everything, mambo ni mingi kwa sababu sound, backline, monitors, mics, instruments, it's a very capital intensive activity. Yeah, but it's great. I've been playing saxophone since January 2015, so I think those are like 8 years now.
Hey, okay. An actual instrumentalist. Nice.
Yeah. I did ABRSMs as well at some point. And YouTube University as well.
So I want to ask this question because I really liked the way that you answered it the first time I interviewed you for Buzz. That was 2 years ago.
Oh, it's already 2 years.
Yeah, it's been 2 years.
Okay.
Hapa kumbe kuna history. Ndio maana mlicoordinate outfit. Nakumbafu. Ndio maana mlicoordinate.
Nairobi ni dot.
Awase kumbe kuna secret or subchats. Telegram channels.
Check.
Wacha tusiambie
message on
hapana.
Signal.
But I wanna know and I want you to share with people who might be hearing your music for the first time after this episode.
Yeah.
Why you got into the saxophone specifically as an instrument, why you were drawn to it, why you decided that this was the way that you wanted to make your mark. Yeah.
So I was doing music in high school like since Form 1. But our school had like instruments and stuff. It was a very musical school. That's like the only good thing about it. Anyway, when I was in Form 3, when I was in Form 3, I was a music student, so you need an instrument for KCSE.
Yeah.
So like everyone was doing G recorder or voice. But I'm also one of those people who believes, how hard can it be?
Yeah.
So I took it up and I was just doing it for KCSE. But now after high school, I realized like hakuna madem wengi wanachezanga instruments na like hakuna like madem wanachezanga horns sana saxophone, trumpet, trombone and everything. So I figured like if I'm gonna have a chance, I have to have a niche because most women sing.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. I sing as well. But yeah, so I wanted to be unique. Representation matters and all those kind of things. So yeah, I just gave myself a challenge and yeah. I fell in love with it, in love with it through the journey. And I think the most beautiful thing about being a musician or being an instrumentalist is that it's really about the journey. Like now I've been playing for 8 years. I can't wait to hear how I'll be playing when I'm 18 years deep, when I'm 28 years deep.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Mimi na wewe hadi mwisho.
Hadi mwisho,
You and
hadi
your saxophone.
mwisho, yeah. Yeah, and
To
it
the
just
mountain
gets
top.
better with time. So yeah.
I love it. And like even the way that like you come together with like I think I wanted to talk to you about like immersive world building using music as a tool for that.
Yeah.
And how you put together your live performances, the energy between you and the band members that you have.
Yeah.
How do you cultivate that? And this ties into a question about your dissertation.
Okay.
Which I thought it was powerful because one thing I know about this industry is people don't be getting paid at all.
Yes.
And like
Yes.
your hypothesis was so strongly worded. I feel like even just like there's so much to be like.
I have such strong opinions.
This is,
Hey.
and then you're judging me here of mine.
Strong words.
Wewe.
Strong words. Naweza isoma. Isi copyright nini.
Yeah.
Copyright holder ndio huyu hapa.
See, umechukua permission.
So you said that it was premised on a hypothesis that event promoters and organizers are stealing money.
Yeah.
Nasoma kama mtaingunyi. Stealing money owed to artists as remuneration for their work, as well as live performers being subjected to abject poverty.
Yeah.
Due to the lack of formalization of minimum wage standards for live performers of artistic works in the Kenyan legal system.
Yes.
So, yes. Now, tell us more about why that was you picked out such a specific aspect of the music industry to address in your dissertation. And at what point in your career were you at when that was something that like influenced everything? So, why you love it? Why you love it so much that you're willing to fight for it even in school?
Yeah. Okay. I love music, genuinely, and live music as well. Let me tell you something. Now, wacha tu niseme, please quote me. Now, see edit. The industry has an average pay of 40,000 Kenya shillings for bands. 40,000 Kenya shillings. Na nimesema muni quote tafadhali. Say Analo said that.
For the whole band?
Yeah, for the whole band. So ideally, in such a situation, the venue will provide sound or a sound system. Then there are venues that pay 60K, you come with your sound. Hiring sound is like 20K, so we're back at 40K. So band mko watu a minimum of 5. You're splitting for 40K. You have rehearsals to pay for because you can't just come and those are just some of the logistics of those are the cons of live performance. Because you see, if you're doing a playback or like a DJ set, you can't do that in your house. But we still have to hire out studios to go and practice. We need transport, and then you come and pay us now 8K. Maybe now if we rehearsed, kila mtu sasa anatoa 1K from pesa zake, and then transport, and then gig ni usiku, so as in hata hakuna ma3 unachukua Uber, like vitu aziko unarudi home na 1400 basically. So that's what I'm passionate about, and I'm passionate about it also because it's very hard to do live performance. Like first of all, you have to put years in to be a good instrumentalist, first of all. And then now you have to practice with a band. You have to be tight, and because everything is on the go, you have to practice. So it's ridiculous. And sometimes I feel like easy venues, they usually like they're in a competition to see who can pay the least and give the most exposure. I don't need to have exposure. I have Wi-Fi. I have Wi-Fi at home. I can enter and see how Beyonce performs, and then I can like do that on my own, So that's why it asks me so much, and also because like I actually really care about it. I'm not trying to leave the space at all. If anything, I feel like even right now there's more room for Madame live performers in Nairobi. So like I guess savior complex naona kama naweza saidia watu. But what was your other question?
Like I remember like me, I'll just be quoting you on the fly because like nakumitingi kila mahali.
Yeah.
The time you told me I don't want to be poor. For real.
Yeah,
you
I
want
really
to make
don't.
this, but you don't want to be poor.
Yes.
And like you're basically structuring your career to make sure that that's not a thing that happens, so you continue like creating as passionately as you do.
And like sorry to interrupt you, but like you see like these venues like they're paying 40K. Shot ya tequila ni 500. Who is fooling who? Like who's nani ama ni mi, mi squat chopping maths, so maybe I'm not like understanding these turnovers. Inanipita. So I just wanted to add that. But like also you don't have to be poor just because you're doing art. I get it.
I get you.
Like even my parents, they're those ones for mimi wasanii wenye najua, they're poor, and they've always been poor, and it's not a thing. But I don't think it has to be that way, and like somebody has to fight for it, you know, or we just continue complaining. Serikali saidia dilini.
Jesus Christ, kuna quotables.
Crazy.
Serikali saidia hadi lini? Like put that on a shirt and give it to Grouchy. Now, I want to ask you, how did it feel as an instrumentalist, as a commercial sax worker?
Yeah.
Freudian sleep anyway.
Hafare.
So, how did it feel to perform at Oktoberfest?
Okay. That Oktoberfest is an excellent like concept. It's an excellent idea. It's very like that festival is great. First of all, it's so amazing. Hata mimi like just even first attending, mambo ilikuwa mingi. Unaenda hapa mtu ana perform, unaruka hapa kuna
10,000 steps.
Unaruka hapa hata kulikuwa na watu wanacheza football. As in, it's fantastic. Great. So as a performer, because I performed on the live stage, first of all, sound was excellent. Gig dynamics. Wherever there's gig dynamics, there's peace and order. I don't know about those other guys, but me, I know GD. GD is the truth. So that was really nice for me as a performer, because sometimes with engineers, unaweza pata mtu mwenye like you're not elewanari or the equipment is low quality. So that was great. The stage was huge, so that was exciting. What else was great? Performing for new crowds. Like for me, nearly force. Like I actually wasn't supposed to perform, but nearly forced. Nikaleta umadhe yangu. I started having balancing tears, and it's like, sawa enda basi.
Ulipatia pity performance. Mpatie true. Azinenda.
It's actually, let me tell you a funny story. That morning, they had actually chucked like 4 of us from the performance list. Ati leo hakuna time. So you guys are on the morning of the at around 10 na tunafaa kuingia soundcheck 1. Mimi nilifika, I said no. I've just refused. So that was great. And also, but you see, it's actually not funny, because inamaanisha, first of all, there's no order. Just kuheshimu wasanii, because it's just like Nyashinsky and others. Because like he was the headliner that day, and he met Hafare.
Nilienda kuona others by the way. Nilienda kuona others. Like, I can't lie.
But it was great, and the crowd was so receptive. So yeah. Yeah.
I think that was the first time I met you after you had performed.
Yes. Yeah. We met that day.
I was tired, nilikuwa nimelewa, but I saw you. I think ulikuwa na Kibs.
Oh yeah. Kibs is my boy.
Yeah, so that's the first time I met you. Yeah. And I have a friend of mine I was with who's such a big fan of yours. And he's like, oh my God. And then go for like, oh, okay, this is nice. Yeah. But I feel like as an artist, getting on such a stage, like I think you just feel emboldened. Inakupatia tu hype just seeing
Yeah,
being able to
it's
perform in front of that many people.
it's a stamp of approval also. Like it's a your festival ni very important ka wasanii. Because also that day I had a conversation with Charisma, Leo Heat, and he was telling me how for him, like performing at Oktoberfest, it's the idea of there's 100 live acts. If you're a live performing artist, na unachukua 100 people, mbona usikuwe hapo? And that's also how I felt like it was imperative for me to play, because like 100 na unaambia watu unafanyanga hii kitu, you should be amongst the 100. So it's great. I think they're doing a great job.
Something I've learned from Charisma actually as a live performer is like even on such a stage you should always be doing something that the people will wakienda home they'll still remember that like this dude really put on a show.
Yeah.
Like ndio maana anatoanga shati I guess like
Yeah.
everybody will remember tu kuna ule jamaa fulani akona dread mingi katikati ya set atatoa tu shati
Na naruka.
yes. And there's this DJ pia strippingi, what's his name?
Kuna DJ ana strippingi?
Like ana perform to CNG. Like he's performing, in the middle of performing he'll just take off his shirt.
Okay.
Like he'll just lose articles of clothing as the night goes along. Pole. Articles of clothing zinapotea.
Yeah.
Akitoka stage unaweza kuta tu na boxer peke yake. Acha.
Yeah.
I thought you had another question. Nilikuwa najitayarisha kitu ingine.
Au kin kadarasa.
Okay, let me
No,
just...
I have another question.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, why would you do
Yeah.
that? Why would you do that? Tulikuwa tuna segment. Anyway, endelea.
Anyway, you said you're a singer, a songwriter, and I know that you're trying to transition into more like pop music.
Yes. How do you know that? Have you had that conversation?
Yes, we have.
Okay.
Hey, kwani ulikuwa umelewa?
Mimi.
Ama ni mimi nilikuwa you know what? Acha tujamaze tu. Anyway,
Yeah.
I know you're trying to transition into like more pop music,
Yes.
and I just want to know, because you told me this very early this year.
Yeah.
I just want to know how has the transition been so far, or has it even been being?
Yeah.
Imekuwa ikiendelea? Is it happening? Ama umekuwa ukitake your time, maybe re-strategizing?
Yeah.
What you've learned actually in like the trying to transition and...
I remember now. This is actually where you come in specifically as Hafare in my journey. So I have I've done a commercial project and like it's ready and everything, but I've just been having it in my drive for the past 6 months. Kisa na maana, distribution and publishing. Distribute is great. CD Baby, Tinko, it's great, but there are levels you can't reach through these platforms unless you have like a fiscal budget to back you. So I guess like for me now, what's where I'm at in my journey is I need the best distributor and publisher of my work before I release it, because I think like I know how it would be if I just release it through my DistroKid. And I guess the challenge there is, I guess, there are labels that are really good with like pushing your work forward and at least trying to get you to editorial playlisting, because you can't really promise someone playlisting, but you can like make shit happen.
Yes.
From what I've had. But you'll find those labels are very specific on the artist they want to work with. So now for me, what I've been doing now is that I've been playing my project for execs here and there. So I've finally gotten somebody who is gonna distribute my work, and I believe in them. I can't mention them.
Oh, please don't
Mostly
mention
because
them on air,
mostly because actually I feel like the two of you would dissent the opinion from how like I know your opinions. But I think with that I've just watched like 27 episodes of that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think that's where I've reached. Also budget here, marketing and advertising, because at the end of the day hizi vitu zote ni ma PR, si ati ngoma za sijui za Nigeria ndio zinakuanga na mziki legit. Nakuanga tu mwenye ako na budget ndio anapepea. We kama una budget niwe na mabeshti wako.
Counterpoint.
Yes.
Counterpoint. We had Nani on here the other day. Mao.
Yes. Yeah.
Mao is he's independent.
Yeah.
Ndio. and he has his own distribution network. But I feel like even with his fan base grew a lot through word of mouth, and guys just sharing his music. Because there are people I know who have no musical taste. Wallahi. Like, these are people who still listen to Westlife. But
What did the 90s do to you?
no, apana. Like, apana, these are guys who are stuck. No, and I'm trying to make a point.
Do you have your Boys to Men ticket?
Yes.
He's going for other reasons.
I'm going for other reasons.
Okay.
Anyway, Sasa, and this is, I'm trying to prove a point here. These are guys,
Okay.
people I know who listen to, like, ukiamka asubuhi, I want it that way. Like, they're stuck in a specific time period of the music they consume. Unaona? If I was to tell them, hey, have you listened to the new Kaliuchis? They'll be like, Kaliuchis. Like, they're like, once ilipita 2010, when I left high school, I stopped consuming new music. Unaona? But they also listen to Mao, which is
That's
a crazy
so
thing.
interesting.
Yeah.
Whoa. What does
That's
that
a
mean?
Crazy thing for me. And I asked them, like, how did this even come into your radar? They were like, oh, I just saw a song on Insta. I saw a song on, like, somebody just pushing on Insta or TikTok or even Twitter. And I listened to the first song. I liked it. The second, the third. These are guys who are asking me, have you listened to the new Mao album? And these are people who exist outside. Ngoma wanasikizanga ni zao, like, ni ngoma ziko so far back. And to me, it's very interesting how one artist can just creep into their little sphere of influence and just live there. A new artist, they listen to all these old people, kina nani, and then there's Mao here, just like Apuru.
That's so interesting.
So for me, I feel like, and I get where you're coming
also,
from.
you're a music executive, Hafare.
Okay, I wouldn't put it that far, but still. But here's my
true,
my
more or
thinking.
less.
Okay, more or less.
Yeah.
So here's my thinking. Like, once you put out the music, it'll find the people it needs to find.
Okay, that sounds like so hopeful. And
Oh,
like,
no. Why would you imagine you've already lost when you haven't even tried?
No, it's not even about that. It's about being realistic and having my feet on the ground.
And I'm telling you,
know,
and I get all of
and
that.
actually, I really do believe, like, in my project, like Deadass, it's fire. But, like, I know that that's not good enough.
Okay,
You get,
I
and
get
it's
that.
about everything except even the music.
You would think, but
I would think.
good music, by the way, it will find its own feet. Like,
Okay.
let me give an example. I just want to give you Kenyan artist.
Okay.
Maya Molo.
Yeah.
When she did Leave Me at the pregame,
Fire.
like, you had to know, somebody would have to introduce you to who Maya is.
Yeah.
This is like a few years later, she put out Asali. Asali is much bigger.
It's huge.
Yeah, she did her own show, like, sold out the event.
Yeah.
That was really dope. And in the next few years, there's going to be another project that's going to elevate her even more. Like, it's a continuous process of growth.
Okay.
With you, if you were to put out a project now, you are Analo Kango. I know people who are your diehard fans.
I feel like sometimes I feel like I have like 10 fans, but they're not like fans, they're like goons, as in like what when you wanapenda mziki yangu they can fight for me. Like they are gangsters.
So,
like the people in my camp are like so serious. I'm like, hey, like no muna believe in mimi. Na ile deni tawaangusha.
You see, usiasimu utaangusha mtu.
Yeah,
We've
but I'm
been
jokes.
hungry.
You guys are really
We've been
sweet. They're the best.
Because I
They're
will,
the best.
ukieka hustle sasa, I will pay money. I will literally take money out of my pocket and buy your project.
No, I need to put it on there.
No, you have to put it
Weka
everywhere.
hata bank
Yeah.
up, kila
Maximize
mahali, tusikie.
maximize every avenue of revenue.
Yeah.
Touche.
You put it on Apple, put it on Tidal, put it on Hustle Sasa. I will take my money and buy your album, and I will own it a digital copy.
Yeah.
As long as you're eating. That's the whole point. Like, as long as you're eating and you can make more music,
Yeah.
and that's just the first step. And also, I really want to know who you're working with. But tutaongea outside here because unaweza sema ni inaweza kuwa suda hapa bro. Libel. Unaweza sema vitu za ajabu sana.
Yeah.
So I had a pertinent question going back to your paper.
Yes.
Something that you mentioned about the duration that it takes to register a CMO in Kenya being shorter than the time in South Africa and Nigeria.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what you think that means for the industry at large. How does that affect it in any way? Okay, kwanza tuambie CMO ni nini? Watu labda wajui. Tuambie.
Breaking Hertz, listeners, but anyway, collective management organizations. So they collect royalties for artists, sana public performance royalties, which are like the returns from playing your music in public places like restaurants, bars, and everything. Broadcasting royalties, ichezwe kwa TV, and all those kind of things. So they collect royalties on behalf of artists and then disperse them to artists. That's like that's like the whole idea. So I guess kwa CMOs za Kenya, first of all, CMOs za Kenya
ni tatu ama
kuna MCSK, Priest,
kuna
Camp.
Yeah.
So CMOs za Kenya, they're rattled with issues and with stealing money from artists. And I think the process of registering a CMO should be longer. First of all, because you need to vet the people. There's absolutely no reason why Honorable Mutua is the chairperson of MCSK. Like all the artists and musicians are confused. It's everybody who is not a musician who probably understands why he's there. Sisi watu wa guitar, we don't get it. But anyway. But I guess also choosing this poll, because if you look at the board members, these guys are 50, they are 60. Like as in the music, they don't even know like what is going on. Also just like digitizing their process. These are them collecting money. There's a way that all of the members should be able to see the income streams. You know, si mambo ya kutuambia, they spend like 60% of their income on administration fees. Then 40% wanapatia wasanii. So I think accreditation
should be like the
process
other way around. Should be like 30-70.
exactly. So I think the accreditation process and timing is very essential to making sure that you have like a really solid team of people who are doing the work. And then also just unajua at the end of the day pia hizi vitu zinakwanga na cartels. Unajua like the way like polisi pia wanakwanga kwa gang ati where did this guy get a gun? He literally got it from his police friend. So it's the same way. So these guys who are paying licenses wako na mabeshti na au watu wako board members. So hawalipi, wana misuse. Like it's just a whole
other thing.
Yeah, like music management in Kenya is
it's almost
such a weird.
non-existent.
No, it's just such a weird. Once you're in the industry, you just understand why the industry is just weird for no reason. People just do things that make no sense until you realize like they're just trying to profit. That's why they're not making sense.
Yes, as in exactly.
Mtu utafanya kitu utaanza kuscratch kichwa yako kujiuliza why? And then unacheki kumbe he just wants to like eat for himself. Like sawa basi, like that makes sense.
Yeah.
What's the CMO I say? I've forgotten the SA CMO. It's not Kosota. Kosota is for TZ.
I don't know
There's a CMO in SA that you can actually register in Kenya, but you can register like they'll collect your royalties uko in SA and they'll give it to you.
Yeah, so
and
like
it's so much
even
better.
Kekobo were advising the same thing. They're just like, we register na Kekobo, then tafuta a global PRO, na hiyo kitu like waku, they just collect for you because there's absolutely no point. But then there's also, because we've been having this conversation for so long for MCSK and Kekobo, I feel like the devil is in the detail, and there's still people who are profiting from
There's always somebody profiting.
Yeah. And I also truly believe that the disorganization favors a certain group of people. Yeah. And wako huko juu, but in our favor, because they're the ones who make up shit as they go. It's just like, today how much do I need? So now we're going to work back. Yeah.
Creative accounting. My favorite finance class. Creative accounting.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
you have a question to ask?
No, this one was like getting a bit more into like history, because like it's me ni msewa history, napenda tu vitu kama hizo.
Wakili.
Yeah. Yes, my learned friend.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask about you stated something about like Columbia Records like having set up here in the 80s.
In the 80s.
And I wanted to know more about like what you thought that meant for I guess you said it was more to do with like Kenyan's relationship with like traditional music, or like how do you think that changed things, and like is it like a balance that was upset so badly that we can never get back to it, or are we getting back to it? What do you think?
Well, Uzuria Columbia Records, when it came in the 80s, that meant that a lot of Kenyan music started to be recorded and kept. So it's like the whole concept of zilizopendwa. Zilianza kurekodiwa around that time. So there's that whole culture and that all that evidence and all that history that happened through that. However, because they were coming into an industry and a place where people don't know their copyright, people don't know like their rules and everything, they own and have still owned all the masters for a lot of these artists, and so the artists haven't been making money from it. As pertains like is it bad or good, like where we are now?
Like what do you think the like domino effect of that was?
Recording, which is like really important, because now we're recording our traditional instruments. There's evidence samples, because like there's like a lot of Kenyan artists who like sample work from that time. So I think recording is a really good thing, and just developing the recording industry of Kenya, because now you see like in the 90s record labels zilikuwa zinachachisha kuchachisha, and yeah, up to now. I'd say the negative effect is still like the whole mambo za copyright, owning your masters and stuff like that. But then that's also multi-layered, because culturally and also economically, the pros and cons of owning masters, like una own masters zako, utakula masters zako. You know?
Another t-shirt quote.
Another t-shirt, exactly. This is the t-shirt quote.
You know, and I get it. It's like, but do you have the privilege of thinking about 30 years when today you have Fuliza? Like,
But this is a conversation I would have. I was talking to
Genuinely.
somebody how, like the record labels, some of the guys who, like the CPs, content providers in East Africa, guys were saying they're predatory. I was like, you might think they're predatory, but when if you live in a one bedroom in like let's say somewhere on Thika Road, Sindio, and then these guys come and offer you 4 million upfront for your copyright for the next 5 years. You are not going to consider anything else. Somebody will come and tell you, oh, you're being exploited. Wewe unaona unahamia Naivasha Road, umenunua Subaru, uko na pesa unatupatia madhedo, unafungua biz. In your mind, umeomoka, like this is life changing money, and somebody will tell you you're being exploited. Yes, I'm being exploited, but I had nothing in the beginning.
Exactly. I truly agree that. Na pia like watu wanakuanga na so much advice. Like chukua hiyo advice yote utumia, you show us how to do it. Like kwanza wasanii.
My God.
Stop advising people. And you know, it's just like kwanza msanii gets like unajua unafaa kufanya sasa wacha wewe wapi ngoma zako zenye zimehit, you know, like if it's like Vic West akiniambia fanya hivi, I'm like, hey, that's exactly what I'm gonna do, because it worked for him, you know. Like,
Wow, that's an amazing quote by the I think we are out of time for part 2.
okay.
I just want to ask you just one quick question before we go. One quick question. Artists you would like to work with in the future, just like 3 of them in Kenya.
Hey, wako wengi.
In order of importance.
Suda.
Okay.
Suda, as in Suda hata sahi akiniita naenda session. Who else? I'd really like to work with Kinoti as well.
Ooh,
okay.
And Namrit Sana ni an amazing artist. And who's the third person I'd really like to work with? You know, there are so many, but Sarua Manyaru. I think she's she's like, when I grow up, I'll be a baddie like her. I mean, she's the bad bitch we all want to be.
exactly.
The bad we all
Like,
have
I listen to her
Saru
and
inside us.
yeah, I listen to her and I feel shy. Like, as in,
Like
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have like, my very very last question, very last PPS. I wanted to ask a question that struck me. Nilikuwa na interview Erosh. He said something very special about folk fusion.
Okay.
And I realized I don't ask artists this question enough myself, even as a person. So what would it take to give the live performance of your dreams? And like,
Wow.
if someone could give you anything, like hata kama ni swimming pool, uingie ukicheza saxophone, unafanya nini? What's like the ideal conditions off the top of your head?
Like setup wise.
Setup wise, peace band, nini, kila kitu.
Okay, band wise, I'd say I'm very lucky because everyone in my team is like fucking amazing. Like, I think kama msanii unataka kuwa na an amazing live set, all the musicians need to be better than you. And I can say that's solid about my team. They're just better musicians than me, so like it makes me a better musician. But I'd say infrastructure wise, there's like some equipment that I would need visuals, lighting. Like if I can get somebody who we can curate lights and visuals according to the music, so not just like paragasha ivo, like tunakaa pamoja tusema at this point unafanya and then at this point I mean like that's so exciting for me. I think that would really elevate my live performance. Venue wise, I think venue ziko tu sawa, so I'd say the biggest challenge is probably just the budget to make things happen. Yeah. And budget, I think logistics aside from like just what we need to get things done, I think if I had like 2 million bob, I can put on like a really amazing live set. But that's now like doing everything that I want to do, and not even putting like the what is it called, this show, for not even doing like the Super Bowl things of then it's just normal amazing work. I think
Lovely.
So I think even like right now in my journey as a live performer, now I'm looking into how can I have like a lighting engineer tunaweza work na yeye, visuals pia, how can we do, and stuff like that.
Nice.
Great.
Okay.
I think tumefika mwisho. This has been so much fun.
Yeah,
As in, you don't even,
thank you so
this
much,
has been so much
Analo,
fun.
man.
I was under pressure. Niliangia hapo niambiwe ulete vibes.
Vibes on deck, like
Yeah,
as in
you carried the
umepata A++. Like
Thank you.
Amazing.
This
like,
was fun.
I have loved it so much.
This was fun.
Now, if you're watching this, if you watched part 1 and part 2, thank you for sticking with us for 2 weeks, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And
Nice.
most importantly, kama uko na pesa ya wash patia Analo, like
Mazee.
Deadass.
Umesikia,
Me-
umesikia.
Me, I
You know what
shut
she
my
means.
mouth.
Mpatie,
Like, as
mpatie.
in,
Like, if
we
you
are
need
gonna
to-
do good work.
if you need to clean some dirty money, like you'll make back your money at the gate. Trust me.
Dead ass. Shots to Nauza 650. No one is gonna
Exactly.
know.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Analo, once again. This has been so much fun.
Yeah.
This has been episode 28, part 2. We'll see you guys next week on episode 29, part 1. Naambia tu mapema.
Nice.
Naambia tu mapema, part 1 of episode 29. We have some very, very good guests lined up for the next few recordings. I think you'll enjoy it. Thank you for being here. See you guys.
Bye.